নমস্কার দর্শক বন্ধুরা, আপনাদের সবার প্রিয় অনুষ্ঠান বিদেশি বন্ধুতে আমি অমৃতা আপনাদের স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। আমাদের আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে আমাদের সঙ্গে রয়েছে এক বিশেষ অতিথি, এক বিশেষ বন্ধু, আফ্রিকান দেশ জাম্বিয়া থেকে আসা অংশুমান দাস। অংশুমান, তোমাকে আমাদের আজকের শোতে অনেক অনেক স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। উই ওয়েলকাম ইউ টু আওয়ার শো। আমাদের সঙ্গে আমি যেরকম বললাম আফ্রিকা থেকে এসছে, জাম্বিয়া থেকে অংশুমান। উই ওয়ান্ট টু হ্যাভ আ লিটল ইন্ট্রোডাকশন অফ ইয়ার্স।
Namaskar. I'm Angshuman Das. I'm Zambia Thaki. I'm an NRI Indian.
So Angshuman, have you you are an Indian, as you said, like we know. Sure. Were you born in Zambia or you were born in India?
I was born in Zambia.
So you were brought up there?
I was born and brought up in Zambia.
Okay. So I mean, after you were born there, you did your schooling and everything from Zambia?
I did my secondary schooling in Zambia. Then I went to England for 7 years, and then I did a course. Now I've done an animal health course.
So what does your course deal with?
Deals with looking after the animals and mainly in animal husbandry, and it's basically looking after and vaccinated animals.
So that's all it deals with.
Basically.
Yeah. So can you give us some more details about what all your course dealt with? Because as you said, it was a 6 years, probably a course of 6 years. Correct. So what all it dealt with? Like some more details.
Basically, it was practically it was heading into lab tests and all these like blood samples of animals that have endo and exo parasitical diseases that could be put with which in short at the end it will just be looking after and basically putting things in position.
Okay. Yeah. So what kind of animals you dealt?
Basically cattle, poultry, and cats and dogs.
Does it include wild animals as well?
Some of them as well, yeah.
What kind of animals? I mean, which animals in particular?
In particular, you have these hyenas as well as snakes, wild snakes.
Okay. So you being an Indian, born and brought up in African continent in a country like Zambia, sure. How could you relate yourself, or how could you adjust with the atmosphere in England? I mean, during your study days.
When I was in England, there was a time when it's basically there's a big contrast between England and Zambia. But in Zambia, there's potentials there in terms of developments that could make it a bit more secure.
Well, Angshuman, so as you went from an African country to study there in England, sure. So you were from a country mostly it had a population of, I mean, it still has a population of the blacks. I mean, if I speak on a racial basis, so England mostly consists of whites. So was there any racial issues when you studied? Could you got any confrontation over there?
Not as such. We've been born up. We were born and brought up at a multi-ethnic society. We were mixing with blacks and even fellow Indians from the start. They're also whites. So it all came out that we just think all of us are one, basically.
I mean, you never got any kind of differences facing with the other students?
Of course, there were some differences, but they were just minor issues.
They were treating equally?
They were treating us equally, even in class and.
So what made you actually think that you should pursue this course? I mean, what made you inclined that you should go for some studies regarding animals?
Animal health. What basically happened was we had a farm. My father had a farm there, and I thought it was going to be good if I go into animal health, because he was a medical doctor by profession. I have an elder brother who's now a PhD holder and he's working for CIMMYT.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
So all that in together.
So I basically went into animal health so that it could help the farm, and we got some animals on it.
So as you
So,
said,
yeah.
you people have got a farm. It's a family business. So
Correct.
that made you thought like if you go for such kind of course, it would be helpful to your family and to of course the run the
Correct.
business.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, that's a very interesting part. Like you went for animal studies. You
Mhm.
nowadays, I mean, get many
Mm,
people like
awesome.
crazy for animals. You know, people
Uh-huh.
having pets at home.
True.
So I just want to know. See, you often comes to India. I mean, in a
Mhm.
year or two,
Yeah.
you often visits India. So how can you like describe the way animals are treated in Zambia? I mean, may it be in terms of pets or even the other animals as well.
Right. Zambia and India, we share a same similarity. We're both third world countries. The advantages in Zambia, there's a bit of a they like they keep the animals properly in terms of putting them in places that are confined, like veterinary
Zambia?
departments. Correct.
All
Yeah.
right.
Like even the animals, the wild animals, they're like confined to a restricted area, and there's a bit of a policy where they can't escape. And there's also the drugs that they do vaccinate so that they don't get many diseases. Yeah, compared to here. Of course, the population is also a factor. We wouldn't find like cows on the roads
In Zambia.
in Zambia. Correct. You'd find them maybe in the rural areas, like through the countrysides, but not in major cities. Yeah.
So these are the basic differences that you have noticed.
Correct. And yes, basically.
And what are the strong policies of government out there, like in preserving animals or taking care of animals?
As such, they also have challenges. There's lots of poaching that goes on, but it's it's been looked after. Like there are lots of wildlife ZAWA officials. That's the Zambia Wildlife Association. They try to reduce the poacher conflict between the poachers and the animals.
আমরা যেরকম শুনলাম সবাই আংশুমান বলল যে ও লন্ডনে অ্যানিম্যাল হেলথ কেয়ারের উপর পড়াশোনা করেছে, তো আমরা ভেবেছিলাম যে হয়তোবা ও কোনো রেশিয়াল কোনো কনফ্রন্টেশন ওখানে ফেস করতে লেগেছে, যেহেতু একটা ব্ল্যাক পপুলেটেড দেশ থেকে একটা হোয়াইট পপুলেটেড দেশে গিয়ে পড়াশোনা করেছে, বাট অ্যাজ সাচ ওরকম কিছু ওর ফেস করতে লাগেনি। তার পরবর্তীতে সে জাম্বিয়াতে ফিরে যায়, ওদের একটা ফ্যামিলি বিজনেস আছে, একটা ফার্ম আছে, ওইখানে অ্যানিমালস নিয়ে ওদের ডিলিংস, সো ওইগুলোতে ওর পড়াশোনাটা অনেকটা হেল্পফুল হতে পারে সেটা ভেবেই মাথায় রেখেই ওর মানে পড়াশোনাটা ছিল, এবং সেটা যতটা সম্ভব কাজে লেগেছে। এবং ও আমাদেরকে আরেকটু শেয়ার করলো যে মানে ওদের দেশে অ্যানিমালসদেরকে গভর্নমেন্ট অনেক বেশি কেয়ার নিয়ে রাখে। খানিকটা গ্রামাঞ্চলে দেখা যায় গরু ছাগলকে রাস্তার আশপাশে, কিন্তু সেভাবে শহরের মধ্যে রাস্তাঘাটে গরু ছাগল দেখতে পাওয়া যায় না, যেটা ভারতবর্ষে অনেকখানি আমরা দেখতে পাই, যেটা অংশুমানও যখনই ভারতবর্ষে আসে ওই সমস্ত জিনিস দেখতে পাই, তো সেটা একটা বেসিক ডিফারেন্সও আমাদের সঙ্গে শেয়ার করলো। All right, Angshuman, so you have shared us that point. Now we will talk about some other things about Zambia, like there are Indians in Zambia, right?
True.
So like are they mostly Bengalis or other communities from India as well?
They're mainly other communities, mainly Gujarati. The Gujarati community is very strong in Zambia, and would be maybe and Bengalis are also there, but of course it's the minority of it.
Gujaratis are the most, and what are the
Gujaratis
other
are the
communities apart from Gujaratis and Bengalis?
They're the Sikhs, the Jains, the South Indians.
South Indians are also
South
there.
Indians
All
are
right.
also there, correct.
So how are the like Indian people out there in Zambia are united so far? Like they definitely must like celebrate their cultural festivals and everything.
True, they do.
What about the unity out there among
the
Indians?
unity is it's stable so far. They do help one another, especially the Gujarati community. You find that, and the temples there, and we're allowed to worship the way we would want to worship if we have like our own faiths are there. And then some religious festivals that we normally get together and we go ahead.
Togetherness prevails there. Means one
Correct.
community participates in other communities' festivals as well.
Correct.
Is it same in terms of other religions as well, like Hindus and Christians and Muslims? Do they also participate in each other's festivals?
Basically, if you find the Hindus participating in their festivals, you'd find that the Christians won't be there. It will just be mainly the Hindu community. Whereas similarly with the Muslims, they'll also be having their own festivals with their own group of Muslims there.
So which are the Indian festivals mostly celebrated in Zambia?
It's mainly Diwali.
All right.
Diwali, that's the main one.
Apart from that?
And there's some others. There's Jamnashtami.
Janmashtami. Okay.
Jamnashtami, yeah.
And do you people celebrate Durga Puja as well?
We do. That's not in Chama, but it's in Lusaka, the capital.
Lusaka is the capital probably of Zambia.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do you people participate basically?
We get invited by the community in
who organizes?
That organizes it, and then we drive there. It's about 300 kilometers from where we are.
From where you are. What is the name of the place where you stay in Zambia?
Choma.
What it is famous for?
It's the southern. It's basically initially it was a farming belt, and then the locality of it promoted the government to name it as the provincial headquarter recently in 2013. It was about 4 years back. Yeah.
All right. So apart from culture, if I talk about the ethnic wears, traditional wears, foods, everything available there?
The main staple food is milli meal. We call it milli meal. It comes from maize. They grind it. They powder it using a hammer mill. It's called enshima once it's cooked. And the other relishes that come with it, it's mainly fish, meat, and vegetables.
All right. So how do you think the people, Zambian people or African people as a whole, they participate in Indian festivals and their cultural activities?
They coexist. I mean, they know about the Indian festivals through interactions, but you'd find that they wouldn't participate direct, like as in when we're having our festivals. They wouldn't come in. They'll just maybe see it from the outside, and yeah.
Angshuman যেটা বললো ওখানে জাম্বিয়াতে ওদের মেইন স্ট্যাপল ফুড যেটা ওইটা হচ্ছে মেজ মানে ভুট্টা যেটা মকই বলে থাকি আমরা এখানে তো সেটাকে ওরা পাউডার করে নেয় করে হালুয়ার মতো একটা সুজির মতো ফর্মে তৈরি করে এবং এটা মাছ সবজি মাংস সব কিছুর সঙ্গেই তারা নিয়ে থাকে Okay, Angshuman, I would like to know one more thing since we are talking about the food and delicacies of your country where you are living in. So, do they have any special, inclination towards like eating up any kind of insects or particularly any animal, any meat, any particular form of meat? So, I would just like to know about it. The Zambian people, I
yes,
mean.
they've got the locals that they've got they call them inswa, the flying insects. They normally come during the rainy season.
During the rainy seasons they come, flying insects. What is the name, if you please?
Inswa.
Inswa, okay.
Inswa, yeah.
So how do they take it? And do they cook it?
And they collect it in basically what happens is they're attracted to the lights.
All right.
So with the lights, they've got a tendency of removing they're called flying ants basically. So once the wings are off, then they drop down, and that's how they grab them from the ground.
So how do they eat it after that? Do they cook it?
They'll cook it, yes. They'll take it and they'll cook it with a bit of oil. And
have you ever tried?
I tried it once.
How you find it?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay,
yeah.
all right.
But it wasn't very appetizing, of course.
Okay. So interestingly, well, ও যেটা বললো ওইখানে একটা স্পেশাল খাবার এক ধরনের পোকা হয় যেটা বিশেষ করে বর্ষাকালে মানে পাওয়া যায় লাইটের দিকে ওই পোকাগুলোর আসার খুব একটা টেন্ডেন্সি থাকে তো সেভাবে ওরা পোকাগুলোকে কালেক্ট করে এবং একটু তেল দিয়ে সেটা রান্না করে খায় এবং অংশুমান নিজেও যেটা বললো ও নিজে একবার ট্রাই করেছে আমরা নিচ্ছি একটি ছোট্ট বিরতি আপনারা সঙ্গে থাকুন দেখতে থাকুন আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান বিদেশি বন্ধু আপনাদেরকে আবারও স্বাগত জানাই আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান বিদেশি বন্ধু আমাদের সঙ্গে রয়েছে জাম্বিয়া থেকে আসা আংশুমান দাস সো আংশুমান we were talking about the food especially the delicacies of Zambia and of course about the culture before we went for the break and now we want to know a little bit about the agriculture and farming as you said you people own a farm there in Zambia so basically like to be personal like what are the kind of crops that you people mostly grow
Mainly we grow maize, soybeans, sorghum, wheat.
In your farm?
Not in my farm, but
I mean,
in
overall.
general. In general, if you add the other commercial farmers and also tobacco.
I mean, can you divide those like in terms of season?
Basically, in Zambia, we only have 2 seasons. You've got the rainy season, which is this time. It starts from November till March, April, and then from June, July, it becomes cold.
All right.
Till September, October. So that's most of the people plant during that time.
So do you have any idea about the percentage of population involved in farming and agriculture?
Percentage-wise, I would say agriculture contributes, after copper, it will be about 40% of the GDP of the government.
Okay, so like how much are the Zambian people involved into farming and agriculture, or like as you said, you people being an Indian, you own a farm there. I mean, how much are the people from other communities apart from the Zambian locals, owning farming business and agricultures?
We've got segments there. We've got other the white community also. They're the main ones who have the big commercial land, but there's in terms of percentage-wise, we'd find that most of it is owned by small-scale farmers that contribute to the main GDP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So যেটা ও বললো ওইখানে ওদের ফার্মিং এন্ড এগ্রিকালচার একটা মেজর বিজনেস, ওইখানে 40% জিডিপির 40%ই কন্ট্রিবিউশন আসে ফার্মিং এন্ড এগ্রিকালচার থেকে, রাইট? 40% of the contribution comes. All right. So apart from like farming and agriculture, as you said, like Bengalis, Gujaratis, and many other Indian communities are surviving there. So what is their percentage or their influence in terms of having business into the Zambian market?
The percentage-wise, I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact.
No, I mean just a rough idea.
I would say it's about 25%.
What are the occupations mostly the Indian people out there holds apart from like
they're
business?
Mainly they're mainly into service. They've been recruited by the government to teach, maybe like in schools at times, or even the healthcare, the hospitals, and also missionaries. There's lots of church-based organizations
which recruits like the non-Indian peoples.
Correct.
All right. So I mean, what are the kinds of products the business people from India, who belongs from India, deals with?
They basically have their own brand of things. They'll come in, open their own companies, set them up. One of them is Tata Motors, I guess. Then there's also, I hear Bideshi is also wanting to open up an outlet in India, in Zambia, sorry.
Okay.
And otherwise it's self-owned basically.
Okay. Okay, just I want to know about the government rules now. So what are the criteria on the basis of which the government in Zambia, they allow people from India or any other countries to come over in Zambia and start up their own business, or the government on what basis will they recruit the non-Zambians?
They would, in terms of shares, they would say you can open up your business provided you have, they would give 51% of the shares they'll keep 51% of the shares.
Who will keep the Zambian government?
The Zambian government will keep 51% of
Keeping
the shares.
51% in hand, they will allow the rest person.
49% will be owned by
non-Zambians. All right.
Correct.
So Angshuman যেটা বললো যে at least 51% share government নিজের হাতে রাখার পরেই non-Zambians মানে জাম্বিয়ার বাইরে যারা লোকেরা ওখানে আসে চাকরি সূত্রে বা বিজনেস করার সূত্রে তাদেরকে নিজের শেয়ার নিতে দেয়, অ্যালাউ করে তাদের বিজনেস শুরু করতে কিংবা কোনো ধরনের কোনো চাকরি জয়েন করতে। ওকে, what are the basic eligibility I mean the government ask for in terms of applying for a job at least? You definitely like I'll just refer one more thing, sorry. Well, you mostly see in first world countries where English is the dominating language, so we need to clear TOEFLs or IELTS exam. If you're aware of the IELTS exam.
Correct.
So in terms of like getting a job in Zambia or getting admission into any of the universities, any such kind of exams are required?
If you're already qualified from outside entering, the current policy doesn't require to obtain another examination.
Since it's a third world country, is it the reason? Like
but they would want you to take an exam if you're applying for a new post.
Okay.
Especially if you want to, you'd need to go through entry permit, which you have to apply.
Okay.
And then they would be asking, giving you a questionnaire on what are the reasons why you want to come and
pursue
your education in Zambia, especially because Zambia, the education system in Zambia, it's there, but it's not that recognized in terms of to the public.
Okay. Yeah. So one more thing, in terms of if you would categorize the students in terms of country or continent, so how far are the students from, apart from, non-Zambian students are into the universities?
I would say
foreign students, I mean.
The foreign students, I would say that will be about 10-12% of the foreign students will be in universities in Zambia. Yeah.
Are there again any racial controversies people are facing in Zambia?
In terms of
may it be in terms of job or in terms of education in universities or colleges?
They may be of late, but there hasn't been since
major controversy.
The major controversies hasn't been there. No, because it's relatively peaceful, and especially with lots of activities of ethnic violence on the top. In Zimbabwe and Congo, but it hasn't already infiltrated into Zambia.
One more question, as you said, copper mining is the main occupation or main source from which the income mostly comes in Zambia. So how far, which income level group of people are mostly into dealing with copper business, copper mining?
The middle class.
Middle class. And are there non-Zambians as well?
There are.
Are there investors from other countries?
The majority of the workers are sorry?
Investors are there as well from other countries into copper business?
Correct. They actually own the mines. They actually own 49% of the shares, as we discussed. There's Vedanta group of companies. There's an Indian company that has bought one of the mines. Then there's a Chinese company that has bought.
From different countries they come up and they own the mines.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was parastatal at one point, then they had to,
Okay. So Angshuman যেরকম আমাদেরকে বললো ওইখানে এডুকেশনে অ্যাজ সাচ কোনো ওই ধরনের এক্সাম পাস করতে হয় না, যেটা মোস্টলি আমরা ফার্স্ট ওয়ার্ল্ড কান্ট্রিজে কোনো ইউনিভার্সিটিতে এনরোল করতে গেলে আমরা ওই এক্সামসগুলো আমাদের পাস করতে হয়, ওরকম ক্রাইটেরিয়া ওখানে নেই। আর ওই ধরনের রেশিয়াল যেটা কনসিকুয়েন্সেস অ্যাজ সাচ ফেস করতে হয় না স্টুডেন্টসদেরকে, যেটা বললো মোস্টলি ইটস এ ভেরি পিসফুল এরিয়া, অ্যাজ ইউ সেড, পিস ইজ মেনটেন্ড। And copper mining যেহেতু ওখানকার মেইন বিজনেস, মেইন সোর্স অফ আর্নিং ফর দ্য কান্ট্রি, সো এখানে আগেন দ্য সেম রুল, 59% অফ শেয়ার নিজের হাতে রাখে, বাকি 49% ওরা নন জাম্বিয়ান্সদেরকে দেয়। অ্যান্ড অ্যাজ ইউ সেড ইন্টু গভর্নমেন্ট সেক্টর্স and other sectors, yes, government will allow, but keeping their terms and conditions as it is.
As it is, yeah.
Well, Angshuman, I want to know some more thing, in terms of getting a government job, what are the categories in which people can apply? There definitely must be some categories and criteria.
Correct.
If you can brief us on that.
You need to be, number one, Zambian citizen, and in that, for that you need to obtain a green NRC card.
What is that, green NRC card?
It's a green, they'll issue out a green national registration card, with stroke 1, meaning you're a citizen of that country. Then you can work for for any government institute, provided you were born also in that country. And then you've got a residence permit, which you can obtain only after staying for 7 years in the country continuously.
Yeah, you need to stay for 7 years in order to attain a
residence permit.
Residence permit, which we mostly call as PR.
A permit, yeah, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So if you have got a PR, you don't have a voting right?
We don't have a voting right.
Otherwise, you get all the facilities apart from the voting rights.
Correct.
All right. And what is the other category?
You've got an entry permit.
Okay.
Entry permit is especially if you're going into the country for the first time. You want to just have a temporal stay for, say, 3 months minimum. To just say, like,
a tourist visa? Is it a kind of tourist visa?
It's similar to a tourist visa, but with a tourist visa, you're just able to go into game parks and not work, just remain as a tourist basically in the country. Yeah.
All right. So this one we have come to know, like, on the basis of what the government allows, to get in the country and apply for government jobs as well.
Right.
So as you said, you have like parliament and you have the president and 10 provinces in Zambia, and each province is how many districts or division?
Every province has its own district.
How many districts, so or it's different for each province?
It's different for each province.
All right. So and how do the voting system takes place?
The voting system,
and of course the age limit, if you mention.
Anyone who's above 18 years is eligible to vote.
It's similar like India.
Similar to India, correct. And it's taken every 5 years, and the percentage that normally turns out, it depends also on the way they distribute themselves,
So, so I just want to know about the ruling party.
Yeah.
How far is the youths in Zambia? I mean, the youths in Zambia supporting the ruling party. Which party are they inclined to? The youths. Talking about the youths in Zambia.
The youths, basically in Zambia, we have the two major parties, political parties at the moment. It's the ruling party and the opposition. That's
can you name
the
even
UPND, the United Party for National Development. They're working hand in hand. Of course, at the time of elections, there would be a bit of, foul play here and there, but eventually it gets normalized, and the youths just want to, develop, like, stick to each other. They don't consider of the party at that stage. They want to just speak with one voice, so that we move the country forward.
Angshuman যেটা বললো, ওদের এখানে প্রেসিডেন্ট রয়েছে, আমাদের মতো একটা পার্লামেন্ট এবং প্রেসিডেন্ট রুল রয়েছে, আর আমাদের যেরকম স্টেটস রয়েছে ইন্ডিয়াতে, এক একটা রাজ্য রয়েছে, ওখানে প্রভিন্সেস আছে, অ্যান্ড প্রত্যেকটা প্রভিন্সেসে আলাদা আলাদা নাম্বারস অফ ডিস্ট্রিক্টস আছে, অ্যাজ ইউ সেড, ডিস্ট্রিক্টস অর ডিভিশন, অ্যান্ড অফকোর্স আমাদের মতোই 18 বছরের ঊর্ধ্বে হলেই ভোট কাস্ট করতে পারে. দ্যাট ইজ দ্য সিস্টেম, অ্যাজ ইউ সেড, সিমিলার টু ইন্ডিয়া. All right. Well, Angshuman, we have little bit come to know about the brief of the political system out there. Now, I would like to ask you one more thing. How about the gender priority in Zambia? I mean, is it gender biased, or they give priorities equally to both females and males?
Initially, there was gender biased, but now it's improved. And initially, they used to prefer males in positions of topmost positions, but of late it has reduced, and you're getting females also eyeing top posts, and including in ministry levels, and as
you said, in political domain. And apart from that, what about education? Are the girls equally in terms to go and get educated into schools and colleges, or it's mostly the male?
The girl child, yes, it has been of late also it has mainly been the males, the boys who've been going into, but of course, and then of late the girl child was also being preferred to
send them for education.
Sending them, yeah. They've been improving that ratio as well.
ওকে আংশুমান যেটা বললো জেন্ডার বায়াসের ব্যাপারে আমি জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলাম, ও বললো যে ওইখানে ইনিশিয়ালি ছিল যে মেলদেরকে বেশি প্রায়োরিটিস দেওয়া হতো, বাট পরবর্তীতে আস্তে আস্তে দেখা গেলো যে মেল ফিমেলের সেই ডিফারেন্সেসটা এতটা আর নেই, অনেকটাই সমানভাবেই মানে ছেলেরা এবং মেয়েরা এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে। সেটা শুধু চাকরির ক্ষেত্রেই নয়, পড়াশুনোর ক্ষেত্রেও, শিক্ষাক্ষেত্রেও একই জিনিস ঘটছে। আমরা অনেক কিছু জানলাম, আমরা আরও কিছু বিষয়ের সঙ্গে অবশ্যই কথা বলবো। তার আগে আমরা নিয়ে নিচ্ছি আরেকটি ছোট্ট বিরতি, আপনারা দেখতে থাকুন বিদেশি বন্ধু। ফিরে এলাম বিরতির পর, আমাদের সঙ্গে রয়েছে জাম্বিয়া থেকে আসা আংশুমান দাস। Well, Angshuman, we've talked about so many things, and now we'll get into a few personal things, of course. So, you are an Indian. You are born and brought up in Zambia.
Correct.
So, you often and on come to India. I mean, not so regularly, but yeah, sometimes. So, let me start with the very, basic thing about the language. Can you speak Bengali? How comfortable you are in Bengali?
I can speak Bengali, being my mother tongue. I was born and brought up from Bengali parents. Of course, initially when I was born, I had difficulties in getting the words, but as I started growing up, it came, I started speaking few words.
So that means তুমি বাংলা বলতে পারো, মানে এতটা comfortable না হলেও you are able to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me go with some other cultures like Bengali songs and music. How far you, your family, or people around you in Zambia, the Bengali peoples, are tuned to practicing of Bengali culture?
That's a good question. When you're born in a country, when you're not your original country, it's a bit difficult to follow your custom. But the Bengali community, they try to follow it as much as possible. Though it's not like here where you see it's not populated like here, and the environment is a lot more different than in the present India. Yeah.
All right, so you come to India. I mean, since you are born, like from childhood itself, you have been coming and going to India.
Correct.
So what is the most exciting part that you feel that yes, I have something waiting for there in India? What makes you mostly excited to come to India?
I think it's the relatives and we need to know like our heritage, where we've come from, see our relatives, our ancestors, the ancestral homes and those things, yeah, and also to get a feel of our heritage culture.
All right, so in Zambia, do you like mostly eat Bengali food, or you are like mostly habituated with the Zambian food out there?
It's basically mixed. It's a lot of when you're in a community of Bengalis, you can have Bengali food, but when you've not got many of your own
what you personally
people,
practice, are accustomed at home?
I would eat the local food.
Local food?
Yeah,
okay.
mainly because it's much more convenient rather than to cook 2 meals. Then we'll just eat the main dish. It's.
So what is your favorite Bengali food, especially when you comes to India?
Basically, it's I would say chicken curry and rice.
And some traditional Bengali food? If you can name a few, the very traditional ones.
The shutki match.
Shutki match. Wow,
match,
great.
Shutki and yeah.
So any sweet dishes? Rasgulla. Okay, that's lovely.
Lemons, yeah.
So you have been to Assam for this. Is it your first time visiting Assam?
This is my first time visiting Assam. Correct. Yeah.
So what do you find most exciting here? Like what are the places, or what all have you visited here?
We visited the university.
What did you like there?
The scenic beaches, as well as the way I think the history as well. I was learning a bit of history of it. The reason I've come here is just to visit my uncle here, and basically the way they've built up certain buildings. Yeah.
Okay, and as you have seen the place where you have come to visit, it's a small town. It's a developing town. So how do you feel? What makes you like delighted or whatever after coming here?
It's my first time. Of course, it's a growing town. I'd say. I wouldn't say it's a small town. Every place you go to, it starts small and starts with lots of development going on. Of course, I'm not used to the noise and stuff and pollution and stuff, but yeah, I think the main thing it's pretty industrious in terms of the tea gardens and yeah.
So Angshuman যেটা বললো Assam your first time visit, টি গার্ডেনটা দেখে ওর লাগলো যে এটা একটা ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল স্কোপ আছে এই জায়গাটায় এবং ইটস কোয়াইট ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াস অ্যাজ ওয়েল। ও আসাম ইউনিভার্সিটি ভিজিট করেছে যেখানে সিনিক বিউটিটা, প্রাকৃতিক সৌন্দর্যটা ওর কাছে একটা বিশাল ব্যাপার লেগেছে। হি ওয়াজ ইমপ্রেসড উইথ দ্যাট অ্যান্ড অফকোর্স বেঙ্গলি খাওয়ার মধ্যেও বললো চিকেন কারি, রাইস, তারপর কি ট্রেডিশনাল শুটকি মাছ অ্যান্ড রসগোল্লা, ওইসব খেতেও খুব ভালোবাসেন। হি ফাইন্ড ইটস ভেরি এক্সাইটিং, ইউ নো, কামিং ব্যাক ইন টু দ্য কান্ট্রি অফ অরিজিন অ্যান্ড হ্যাভিং দ্য ভেরি traditional food, ethnic food of your own community. So, well, Angshuman, we've talked about food as well. So, like, as you are still single, getting a bit personal if you don't mind. So, are you planning anything to get married? I mean, do you have anything, certain things in mind? So you want to get an Indian for yourself or an African?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought of. Eventually, I'd want to marry at some point, but not knowing how the outcome would be, it's not easy to. I'm still single, by the way. So yeah, so not knowing how the outcome would be, but it's not easy to find someone out in Africa. Especially, it's not like this environment where you see lots of people mingling around. People are a bit isolated in Africa.
People are a bit
like
isolated.
our community and stuff. But of course, if it wasn't for the race issue, by now maybe you'd find.
Oh my God.
Weird.
ইন্টারেস্টিং যেটা বললো, যদি রেশিয়াল ইস্যুস না থাকতো, লাইক কমিউনাল ইস্যুস, তাহলে হয়তো এতদিনে ও একটা আফ্রিকানের সঙ্গে বিয়ে হয়ে যেত, বাট অবভিয়াসলি এটা এখনো ঘটেনি। সো হি ইজ নট ইভেন প্রিপেয়ার্ড ফর ম্যারেজ নাও, যেটা ও বললো। সো Angshuman, as you are an Indian citizen and you are a permanent resident in Zambia, so would you like anytime, you know, think of taking up Zambian citizenship? But at the same time, you have to think like the Indian government, they do not allow dual citizenship. How would you look into that issue?
Yes, at the moment, I wouldn't mind if the Indian government approves dual citizenship in future. If they recommend, I mean, if they open the barriers to it, then I could consider getting a Zambian citizenship as well. Because currently the Zambian government, they are allowing dual citizenship.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Angshuman, as you said, this is your first time visit in Assam, and you have come to your uncle's place in Silchar. So, during this visit, what all are the most exciting parts that you like enjoyed, and it will be your memory? It will be memorable for you throughout.
Well, being my first time in Silchar, I visited Rajiv Bhavan.
Rajiv Bhavan.
Oh, Rajiv Bhavan. It's a theatre.
Okay.
Where we saw some cultural dances taking
Cultural performances you enjoyed there.
Correct, yeah. And
how you felt watching those?
It was fascinating in terms of because we don't see such things going on in.
So you felt
Zambia.
good, like very fascinating, seeing the traditional dance and songs.
And the costumes they're wearing.
Costumes as well.
Course, yeah.
And what else?
And then we went to Ganmala.
Ganmela, okay.
Ganmala, yeah. Where we also heard a few songs.
You heard songs?
We heard songs, and there's some traditional foods that were sold on the stalls.
What was the traditional food?
Chunga bash.
Chunga bash. Oh yeah, it's a traditional Bengali dish.
Dish. Is it a Bengali?
Yeah, it's a traditional ethnic Bengali food, chunga.
Okay.
It's a like sweet dish basically.
Correct. And
Like
it's
rice is
wrapped
cooked,
with,
you stuff the rice inside a bamboo, and that is how it's cooked
correct.
in fire.
And then it's wrapped with bamboo.
Bamboo, yeah, it's wrapped
leaf.
with the
Correct.
bamboo.
Yeah.
So that's you enjoyed.
Yeah, that's the things that I enjoyed basically.
Okay. And what about meeting peoples in Silchar?
Yeah, my cousins. Yeah, it's been a while since I've met them, so it was a
wonderful
an
thing.
experience. Yeah, it was a good
Meeting
good
your cousins in
Cousins,
Silchar.
some of them were for the first time, second time rather. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angshuman এখনই আমাদেরকে যেরকম শেয়ার করলো, শিলচর ইওর ফার্স্ট ভিজিট, ইনফ্যাক্ট পুরো আসামি ইওর ফার্স্ট ভিজিট এবার। ও এখানে এসে রাজীব ভবনে গেছে, গিয়ে কালচারাল প্রোগ্রামস দেখেছে, সাংস্কৃতিক অনুষ্ঠান সে খুবই এনজয় করেছে, ট্রেডিশনাল ডান্স অ্যান্ড সংস যেটাও সচরাচর ওর দেশে ওইখানে দেখতে পায় না। তাছাড়া ও গান মেলায়ও গেছে, যেখানে ও অনেক গান শুনেছে, আমাদের ট্রেডিশনাল গানগুলো, এবং ওখানে স্পেশালি ও বেঙ্গলি ট্রেডিশনাল পিঠা, যেটাকে আমরা এখানে পপুলারলি চুঙ্গা পিঠা হিসেবে বলে থাকি, সেটাও খেয়েছে এবং হি ফাউন্ড ইট ভেরি এক্সাইটিং। অ্যান্ড অফকোর্স ওর কাজিনসদের সঙ্গে এখানে দেখা করেছে, অনেক টাইম স্পেন্ড করেছে, which will be very memorable for Angshuman throughout. And of course, Angshuman, we thank you a lot for being here in our show, and we wish you good luck for your endeavor. Thanks for joining our show. On behalf of Ishan Bangla, hearty thanks to you.
Namaskar.
আমাদের আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে আমাদের সঙ্গে ছিল আফ্রিকান একটি দেশ জাম্বিয়া থেকে আসা আংশুমান দাস। আমরা অনেক কিছু জানলাম, ওর থেকে অনেক গল্প করলাম। এভাবেই আমরা আরও একজন অতিথিকে নিয়ে আমাদের আগামী পর্বে আমরা উপস্থিত হব আপনাদের সামনে। আপনারা সঙ্গে থাকবেন আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানে বিদেশি বন্ধু। ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন। নমস্কার।